We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for episode 10 of The Flash. The Flash is back. All is good. I'm so happy that the show's back. And this was a good episode. This was solid. You know, I was expecting a little bit more out of the gate, but still, it's nice to see Captain Cold back. And obviously, Heatwave was there. And Barry working very, very hard to increase his speed and become better, because his mindset is all about the Reverse Flash. Now, a lot of interesting things happened in this episode. In particular, Barry making the decision not to go after Captain Cold so he can focus on training for the Reverse Flash, which, you know, I gotta say, Joe is absolutely right. That was more Dr. Wells talking than it was Barry. Barry's always been about helping people. So it's funny because we've seen Dr. Wells and Joe go back and forth, and we've even seen them be buddy-buddy. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be another conflict there as Dr. Wells tries to get Barry to focus more and more on improving his speed, and whether or not Barry's going to further make sacrifices so that he can train. Now, I don't see that personally happening, especially after what happened tonight with Kaitlyn being kidnapped and Captain Cold and Heatwave almost getting the jump on everybody. But Cisco's creativity was really, really pivotal in this episode with the Riot Shields that can absorb the cold. They didn't prove too well against the heat, but still, the police officers only suffered like minor burns and stuff like that. So, but overall, I thought it was a good episode. Once again, we see that Barry and Iris are still carrying over basically the hammer that Barry dropped about how he fell for Iris, and he said that to her almost 9 episodes too late. And you kind of wish he would have said it sooner. But be that as it may, it looks like they're squaring things away, and now that Iris is going to be living with Eddie, it'll probably make things a little bit easier. You know, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, so not being together all the time or seeing each other all the time will probably help their relationship continue to develop as friends, and we'll see what happens from there. Now, Captain Cold being back in the mix has a vendetta to capture or at least get rid of the Flash, because he knows that the Flash is the only thing that stands in his way to pretty much running the city with his cold gun. And, you know, he wasn't getting what he wanted in the early going, and because of how we mentioned Flash focusing on his training. Now, the training session in the early part of the show I thought was awesome. Those drones chasing him, I thought the special effects were really good considering it's TV, you know, and I thought it was great seeing him dodging the bullets, going after the missile, and really, really using his speed to defend himself and to actually go on the offensive. I really did like the scene where he captured the missile and flung it back. I thought that was pretty cool. And, you know, Dr. Wells, you know, we still don't know what his plot is. If you saw my weekly entertainment wrap-up, I did mention how the actual show creators confirmed, or actually the actor himself, confirmed that he is the Reverse Flash. But they didn't deny that Eddie Thawne is going to be playing a pivotal role, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm sure we're going to see the Reverse Flash soon, but probably more towards the end of the season, as we're going to see more villains come up, like the Trickster. Obviously, Captain Cold at the end of this episode escaped. So now, the other thing I found interesting, and maybe you comic guys would know this more than I would, but Firestorm, Project Firestorm. It turns out that this is a project more than it is a name of a superhero, and obviously Kaitlyn Snow is the one who's going to go after the information she needs to find out what it's all about. She meets that gentleman at the cafe bar who was very reluctant to talk about it, finally discussed it with her, and now he's very paranoid. So that opens up a whole nother Pandora's box, because now we know that there's something else out there that, you know, I don't want to say is metahuman related, but probably in some form is kind of like the metahumans, you know? But we'll have to know more. Maybe, again, you guys in the comics will know more than I would about that. But that's going to open up a whole new story that's going to affect Kaitlyn. We'll see how Barry plays into that. And Dr. Wells. I'm sure Dr. Wells knows this doctor that Kaitlyn was very aware of when the man mentioned his name. So that'll be very, very cool to watch. Once again, the thing I love about the show continues to happen, which is the relationships and how they play out on screen. Once again, Joe and Barry are, to me, the pivotal rock of this show. I mean, even the ending scene, as simple as it was, just seeing them together and seeing Barry move back into the house and seeing how they exchange, it's just a great thing. And they just feed off of each other so well. I really like that chemistry between these two characters, these two actors, because it shows on screen. I can only imagine what kind of real relationship they have, you know, like off screen, you know, being good friends, I'm sure. Because whatever they do off screen, whether they hang out, have a beer, discuss their scenes, or whatever they're doing shows on screen. That's just one of the things I love about the show, that this makes it very charming, that I continue to enjoy. I mean, this show for me is just, it's so much fun to watch. And even in the beginning, or rather, like the drone training I was talking about, but even later, when he's talking to Kaitlyn Snow at Star Labs, and she's looking up the Firestorm file, and he goes and he reads the whole 800-page file in a matter of a couple of seconds. And I'm just sitting there, and me and my wife are like, wow, wouldn't that be great to come home once a night and just read a whole book and then move on to the next one? So, and it's those things that make this show so much fun. Now, the big thing is at the end of the episode when Captain Cold and Heatwave were broken out by a mysterious person that Captain Cold referred to as sister. So I know, once again, you comic heads are probably going to say in the comments who it is, and that's fine, it's cool, I don't mind being spoiled. I have a hunch of who I think it might be, so I kind of want to know if my hunch is right, so I'll wait to see you guys' comments in the bottom. But overall, I thought this was a good episode kicking off the second half of the season. It was nice to see Captain Cold back. I don't remember the gentleman's name who plays Captain Cold. I do know that he used to be on Jailbreak, but I do like him. He's a good actor. I think he's a good good person to play the role of Captain Cold. I like the fact that they expanded on Cisco a little bit. He gave a nice little speech while he was in the police precinct training them with the new Riot Shields. And I do like Cisco, even though he's a little quirky and dorky sometimes. He's so knowledgeable, and he's such a good portion of, and obviously he comes up with all the names, so that's also very cool. And of course, Dr. Wells, we didn't get an ending sequence with him. I was kind of hoping we would, but we kind of know what the deal is with him. And there's just so much mystery surrounding the show right now, and so many things about whether it's going to turn out this way or that way. We've heard rumors and confirmations about where the show is going, what the future entails, other villains that are coming into the fray. There's just so much floating around right now, and I'm just so excited to see every week how things play out. And but this episode was very good. I had a lot of fun watching it. And yeah, what else can I say, man? This is probably my favorite show on TV right now is The Flash. So we'll see what happens next week. We have another new villain coming into the fray who looks like he uses the power of sound. So we'll see how Barry deals with that. And we'll see how far Barry's come next week. Hopefully he's learned some new techniques that we can enjoy watching. We've heard a lot about the whole vibrating and things of that nature. He has to get faster. But overall, good episode. I enjoyed it. And we'll see what happens next week. Very exciting. I'm very happy The Flash is back. And tomorrow you can expect my episode 10 review of The Arrow. And I'll see you guys then. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit ETN's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for episode 10 of The Flash. The Flash is back. All is good. I'm so happy that the show's back. And this was a good episode. This was solid. You know, I was expecting a little bit more out of the gate, but still, it's nice to see Captain Cold back. And obviously, Heatwave was there. And Barry working very, very hard to increase his speed and become better, because his mindset is all about the Reverse Flash. Now, a lot of interesting things happen in this episode. In particular, Barry making the decision not to go after Captain Cold so he can focus on training for the Reverse Flash, which, you know, I gotta say, Joe is absolutely right. That was more Dr. Wells talking than it was Barry. Barry's always been about helping people. So it's funny because we've seen Dr. Wells and Joe go back and forth, and we've even seen them